Hello, I'm Steve Johnson. Welcome to Digital Works. This is what we call our Datazone. We are talking to Christina Tabereaux, one of the co-owners of the Snail on the Wall Bookstore in Huntsville, and we are talking books, a regular feature here on Digital Works. All right, what book, Christina? Well, first of all, thanks for being with us.
Sure. Happy to be here.
What do you have with you?
I have I See You've Called in Dead by John Kenney. This actually released in April, but I don't think it has gotten as much buzz as it should have. And so that's why I wanted to bring it today and talk about it.
It's been out since April, and I consider myself a well-read person on new books, and this, I must admit, I haven't heard of this.
Okay. So it is about, it's fiction, and it is about a gentleman named Bud who happens to be an obituary writer and at a large newspaper. And Bud's struggling in life. He is recently divorced. His wife left him for someone else. Professionally, he's not doing a particularly great job, whatever that looks like in the obituary writing field. I don't know. But so one night he drinks a little too much, and he writes his own obituary, and he publishes it digitally in the paper.
Did he mean to do that?
I mean, he's drunk, so I don't know.
Okay, so
that's a good question.
So while he's still alive, he wants people to see his
perhaps
obituary.
I think that's something to discuss or to think about. But as you might imagine, his employer is not amused, and so they put him on leave. And while he is on leave, he decides to goes to strangers' visitations and funerals, because that is sort of his world. And so he has this friend, Tim, who is kind of a quirky character, a little bit dark, and Tim goes with him. And so they decide they're gonna make this their agenda is to go to these wakes and funerals. And it's
this is kind of like crashing a wedding.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit. But yeah, at the opposite end of the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
And it's, I think it's pretty obvious, or I think it's obvious or would be obvious to you as you read, that it's very much about is he truly living, or is he just sort of, muddling through life?
Okay, so my sense of it is, without having read it, that
Mm-hmm.
this is a guy who discovers himself while going to wakes and funerals.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And he's, the thing I love about it, or a couple of things I love about it, is there's some dark humor in this. I mean, clearly, if you're
it would have
right,
it would have to have humor in it to
right.
work, wouldn't it?
That is exactly right.
What it's about.
And there's some real laugh out loud moments. I mean, I really did cackle in a couple of spots.
I'm just curious, were these? And I like dark humor, but
Sure.
I've got to believe some of the funniest stuff was happening at people's wakes and funerals.
You were correct. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Or comments by his friend, about or at the funeral. So yes, there's also a love interest that pops up at a funeral. So just do with that what you will. So, but yeah, it is very much about people living their lives. They're real. That's what I like about literary fiction. There's not a huge story or plot or thing that happens. It's mostly about people going about life, and you can recognize yourself in there.
Okay, do you like this character, this main character?
I think at first he's a little questionable, but I think by the end, absolutely, he definitely redeems himself, and you can see the good in him, and that he embraces all of the wonderful people and wonderful things around him. He starts paying attention.
Okay.
He starts showing up, finally.
He learns to live.
Yes.
Going to visit the families of dead people.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. It sounds a little bit silly and maybe just kind of funny, whatever, but there's definite substance to it. I would say that you're gonna find more to feel about all of this than perhaps at first blush.
It's like somebody famous said something about the mass of men living lives of quiet desperation. So something tells me that we will all identify a little bit with this person who's obviously not happy with
That's
where
right.
he is.
That's right.
And I mean, because I think everybody goes through that at some
That's
point.
right. That's exactly right. He's, yeah, you hit that point where you have to make a decision about, are you going to wake up and feel the full spectrum of life and the feelings that are presented to you, or are you going to just shove it all down and refuse to deal with what's put in front of you, knowing that you will also give up a whole lot when you make that choice.
Okay, so who would this book appeal to?
I think it could appeal to a lot of people. I mean, in the store, when I've talked to somebody about this,
By the way, before we talk about, have you gotten good feedback from people who've read it?
I have. We have. I don't think I've had a single person come back and say they didn't like it.
Okay.
But I have been cautious to point out to people, this is about death. There is not everything is light and rainbows and unicorns, clearly. So you got to have somebody who's going to want to embrace that kind of storyline.
Exploring, multiple
That's right.
multiple feelings. So so somebody with a little bit of who's not afraid to read about stuff.
That's right.
Would appeal to them.
That's right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're walking through some tough stuff in your life, this might be something to put a pause on and come back to later when perhaps you are at a place where you might be more comfortable delving into it.
Okay, when you read it, was it the kind of book, and you know what I'm talking about, where you closed it and just was saying, yeah, glad I read that.
For sure. And I think I yapped about it a lot to people around me. I was like, I love this. I love
do that.
this.
I do that to myself a lot.
And it's it's a weird sell, honestly, because it's like, it's about this obituary writer who goes to funerals of people he doesn't know. So it does sound a little wacky.
So there's dark humor. Could this be a book club book? And I keep asking that because a lot of people like to read books that other people are going to read with them.
Yes, correct. Yeah, I think 100%. There are just lots of relationships to talk about here, decisions, 100%, without question, lots to discuss.
Okay. Now, I won't ask for your favorite book, but is it one of the favorite books you've read in the last 10 years, maybe?
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely put it in my top 10 for this year, top 5 maybe.
Okay, and you're a bookstore. You read books all the time. So.
Yeah. No, it's enjoyable. It's not a slog, it's not super dense, but the writing is solid. It's got a great story about people you love, and you're going to recognize, you're going to see yourself and or people you love in these characters. So definitely loved it.
All right. Definitely loved it. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Christina Tabereaux from the Snail on the Wall Bookstore, a regular feature here on Digital Works TV, our Datazone. So thank you for being with us, and thanks for the book. I See You've Called in Dead.
That's right.
By John Kenney. Thanks for joining us, and join us again.